Okay, picture Southeast Asia. Got it? Good. Now find that little peninsula shaped like a chili pepper dipped in the ocean. That's right, that's Malaysia. It's got beaches, rainforests, cities. Basically, it's paradise, but with way better food. We're talking about a region steeped in history, dating back thousands of years. Early Malaysians, the ancestors of modern-day Malaysians, were chilling here long before Instagram influencers discovered wanderlust. They were the OG explorers, sailing the seas, trading spices, and probably complaining about the lack of air conditioning. But things were about to get a whole lot more interesting. Enter stage left powerful empires, religious awakenings, and enough colonialism to make your history textbook cry. Buckle up, folks, it's about to get real. So, it's the 7th century, the Beatles haven't invented music yet, but guess what was bumping? The Srivijaya Empire. These guys were the cool kids on the maritime block, controlling trade routes and basically being the Amazon Prime of their time. They were also big into Buddhism, which, let's be real, is way more chill than fighting over spices. Fast forward a few centuries, and the Majapahit Empire steps up to the plate. They were like the Srivijaya 2.0, expanding their influence across the region. They even had a legendary warrior queen, Tribhuwana Wijayatunggadewi. Talk about girl power. These empires weren't just about conquering though, they brought with them art, culture, and a whole lot of really cool temples. Think Angkor Wat, but with a Malaysian twist. Basically, they laid the groundwork for a region that was about to get a serious cultural makeover. Cue the dramatic music. The 14th century rolls in, and with it comes a new player on the scene, Islam. Brought by Arab traders, the religion spread like wildfire through the Malay archipelago. It wasn't just about the 5 pillars though. Islam brought with it a whole new legal system, social structure, and even fashion sense. The Malacca Sultanate, a powerful kingdom in what is now Malaysia, embraced Islam and became a major center of Islamic learning and trade. Think of it as the Silicon Valley of its day, but with less Mark Zuckerberg and more mosques. This period was a melting pot of cultures and ideas, a bit like a globalized world but without the internet trolls. It set the stage for a unique Malay identity, a blend of indigenous traditions and Islamic influences. Okay, remember those spices everyone was obsessed with, the ones that made food taste like a little piece of heaven? Yeah, well, the Europeans finally caught wind of them. And when they did, it was like a gold rush but for spices. And by caught wind I mean, they sailed over with their big ships and even bigger ambitions. They were ready to change the game. First up, the Portuguese, who showed up in the 16th century like that one friend who always invites themselves over. They were eager to get a piece of the action. They conquered Malacca, kicking off centuries of colonial rule. It was a strategic move that gave them control over the spice trade routes. Then came the Dutch, who were all about that trade life. They established the Dutch East India Company, which became a powerhouse in global trade. They were followed by the British, who were basically like, if you guys are done fighting, we'll take it from here. They were ready to expand their empire. They turned Malaysia into a major producer of rubber and tin, which, let's be honest, doesn't sound as exciting as spices, but hey, it paid the bills. These commodities became crucial for the Industrial Revolution. Colonialism was a complicated time to say the least. It brought significant changes, both good and bad. It brought economic development, but at the cost of exploitation and cultural suppression. The local communities faced numerous hardships. It's a period that continues to shape Malaysia today, for better or for worse. The legacy of colonialism is still evident in the country's culture, architecture, and economy. Section 5. World War II. Japan shows up. Things get dicey. It's 1941 and the world is on fire, literally. The flames of war are spreading across continents and no one is safe from the chaos. World War II is raging and Japan decides it wants a piece of the Southeast Asian pie. Their eyes are set on Malaya, a region rich in resources. They invade Malaya, catching the British off guard. The British forces, unprepared for such a swift and aggressive move, scramble to respond. Remember that scene in Home Alone where Kevin's family forgets him? The British were caught in a similar state of disarray. Yeah, it was kind of like that, but with fewer booby traps and more war crimes. The Japanese forces were relentless and brutal. The Japanese occupation was brutal, marked by violence and hardship. Civilians suffered immensely under the harsh rule, but it also sparked a sense of Malay nationalism. People began to unite against the common enemy, fostering a new sense of identity. People realized that maybe, just maybe, they didn't need foreign powers calling the shots. The seeds of independence were being sown. It was like that moment you realize you can make your own instant noodles and you don't need your parents anymore. A newfound confidence was emerging. The Japanese were eventually defeated, but the experience left a lasting impact. The scars of war were deep, but so was the resolve for change. It was clear that the status quo was over. The old ways of colonial rule were being questioned and dismantled. Malaysia, like many colonized nations, was ready to chart its own course. The journey to independence had begun, and there was no turning back. Section 6. Merdeka, Malaysia's road to freedom. After World War II, the British were like that friend who overstays their welcome at a party. They tried to hold on to Malaya, but the people had enough. Enter Tunku Abdul Rahman, a charismatic leader who united Malaysians under the banner of independence. He was like the Malaysian Gandhi, but with better hair. Finally, on August 31, 1957, Malaya achieved its independence. Cue the fireworks, the celebrations, and the collective sigh of relief. It was a new dawn for the nation, full of hope, promise, and probably a lot of paperwork. But the story doesn't end there. The newly independent Malaya had a vision, a dream of a united nation. It was time for Malaysia 2.0. Section 7, Malaysia 2.0 Sabah, Sarawak, and Singapore joined the party, well, almost. Remember those two big states on the island of Borneo? That's Sabah and Sarawak, and they were also under British rule. In 1963, they decided to join Malaya, along with Singapore, to form the Federation of Malaysia. It was like a political Tinder match made in heaven, or so they thought. Singapore, with its predominantly Chinese population, didn't quite mesh with the rest of Malaysia. It was like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, or trying to explain the offside rule to an American. After just 2 years, Singapore left the Federation to become its own independent city-state. It was a bit awkward, like that time you accidentally wore the same outfit as someone else to a party. But hey, breakups happen, even in geopolitics. Despite the hiccup, Malaysia moved forward, stronger and more united than ever before. Section 8, Modern Malaysia, from rubber trees to tech hubs, we've come a long way, baby. Fast forward to the 21st century, and Malaysia is killing it. The transformation is nothing short of extraordinary. We're talking skyscrapers, high-tech industries, and a GDP that would make your economics professor proud. The Petronas Twin Towers stand as a testament to our progress. We've traded in our rubber trees for semiconductor chips and our tin mines for tourist destinations. The shift has been monumental, but it's not all about the Benjamins, baby. Our growth is also about innovation and resilience. Malaysia is a melting pot of cultures, a place where you can find mosques next to temples, and where you can get nasi lemak and roti canai on the same street corner. The diversity is palpable. We've embraced our diversity and turned it into our superpower. It's what makes us unique and strong. From ancient empires to colonial struggles to modern marvels, Malaysia's journey has been anything but boring. Each era has left its mark. We've laughed, we've cried, we've probably eaten our weight in nasi lemak. Our food is a reflection of our rich history. And through it all, we've emerged as a nation that's proud of its past and excited about its future. The future looks bright. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some sendol to devour. It's the perfect way to celebrate our journey.